This is Quest of Life. We are a not for profit offering free online peer support groups, and this is a demonstration of a facilitated group. So keep in mind that your experience might not look and or feel the same as this streaming group. Not every group can be the same, as every facilitator is different, and so are the group dynamics. That said, if you'd like to join a support group, you can join us through questoflife.org. And if you want to support us monetarily so we can run more free groups for more people, please also do that via our website, questoflife.org.
First thing for me, I will be away for 2 weeks. Well, 10 days essentially, but I'll miss 2 sessions. Uh, it's unclear what's gonna happen. Um, you guys might have a temporary host. You guys might just skip 2 weeks. I don't know. We'll keep discussing it. But as far as chat and the viewers, that's what's up there. Uh, cool. That aside, how you guys doing?
Anyone would like to go first?
Go for it.
Okay. Um. Hmm. I am feeling a lot of emotions, and I have been uh feeling like on a roller coaster, but like a low energy one. It's like really weird because it's like I feel like my emotions are going downwards. Um. And then I get into despair, and then it peaks, and then I try to figure out how to navigate that. Um, and yeah, I guess I'm still trying to figure out how to do more self care. Cause I find myself to uh, I have started an internship, and I find myself um forgetting to take breaks when I work, and that definitely tanks my energy levels and makes me more aware that I need to do more self care and practice to take breaks. And that's where I am at, and how work affects like my sense of self, because it definitely plays some value in being able to work or like add value to the things I'm doing. And when I don't feel like I'm doing that, which I am in my mind not doing because it's an internship, so I'm there to learn, it definitely brings up some frustrations regarding my work uh, quality, or what I deem to be great work. Um, yeah. Um, my topic today, I would like to talk about. I wrote down. um, it's the um, it's regarding wanting to succeed in whatever endeavor I pursue, but at the same time as I want to succeed something, I am convinced that I will fail the thing I want to do. And that's definitely stopping me from a lot of things, but I don't really know what the core issue is, and I would like to try to dig deep into that and see if I can get some insight that might kick me in another direction in what I usually do. Yeah, sending it to Tom.
For me, today's pretty good. Like, I feel better than the average day for the last few weeks. But overall, I think, like, with uni, I sort of feel like I'm falling more and more behind. And so I asked if I could switch to part time, and it sounds like the answer is going to be no. Um, but yeah, I feel stuck in this place where I'm doing as much as I can, but it's also not that much if I look at the actual hours, but I'm just exhausted, so it's really hard to do more, and I need to do more. Um, I don't actually know what the practical solution is because, um, yeah, like even when I plan something, it's just not happening. Um, and topic wise, it would either be that or a more fun one would be a few weeks ago. So at the start of uni, I joined this group and we wrote a play together, and that was super fun. So I want to do more writing. But then I've noticed whenever I sit down and try to write, if there isn't a deadline, where like we had 2 weeks to write it, so it was really tight. Write and rehearse and perform. So really, we had like 4 or 5 days to write it. So then I could do it because it's clear that like actually it's not going to be good, and we just have to get something down on paper, and that's going to be good enough. But if I don't have that kind of deadline, then my mind just goes blank, and I'm just planning or trying to come up with more ideas and brainstorming, and it's really hard to actually commit to any kind of choice. Um, yeah. Anne?
That was your topic?
Mm-hmm.
That was last week. I think my anxiety level is ramped up because I'm moving soon. Well, not soon, but 2 weeks from now, which my brain is just busy counting down. Yeah, I think maybe it works the same way. If I have a meeting in the evening, then the whole day is I'm not doing anything else. I'm just waiting. So it feels kind of like that, but it's weeks. Um, yeah, I think whenever I try to figure out like what's happening with me, I notice that my heart is racing. But I don't really pay attention usually. Lately, I've just been distracting, doing things. Um, Maybe that would be my topic. I don't feel, yeah, super into that. I think I'm leaning towards Pam's topic.
Pam's topic sounds good to me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm open to do that. I guess I can start with. Hmm. Okay, so I can start with what like prompted me to think I would like to go into it. It's hmm. It's like I have wanted to pursue fashion for a long time. Um, and um, and it's like I have wanted to do a collection of clothing or like a clothing line. That would be a big dream of mine. But at the same time, it seems like I always come up with a lot of excuses. Like, it's just an excuse upon an excuse, and it doesn't help that the industry actually is really competitive, and that's just feeds into more excuses to be like, okay, it's hard, so why bother? Or I don't have the money, or I don't have the capital, or like whatever excuse that comes up. But at the same time, I find myself not really giving up on the dream, but I'm like, why am I holding on to it if all I come up with is excuses? Um, and then I kind of try to move towards that dream or wish. For example, I'm applying to a job within the fashion industry. But for example, I was I was at an interview where I would say I it's like I was at the interview and it would have been a great stepping stone for the dream I had. But I somehow like just tanked that opportunity because I became so insecure and like, okay, I'm not good at this, I can't figure this out. So my insecurity popped up in that interview, and I'm not saying it's totally what did that I didn't get the job, but I definitely am interpreting it instead of like being optimistic and trying to pursue it as like some kind of fear or something pops up, and then I start to self-sabotage. Self-sabotage. um, and another thing is that hmm, it's like I do have a lot of time, or I did have, um, before this internship started. And I find myself wondering why I didn't use the time better to then get more information and research and work towards that dream, because it isn't like I I guess I believe that it is an industry where taking action is better than not. Like it is with many things. But um yeah, it's like I'm holding myself back and all the excuses pops up. And then I see other people daring to take the steps and work towards like creating clothing or reaching out and ask for help and start wherever they're at, just to take small steps towards their dream. And yeah, it's like I keep oscillating between this dream. Um, and I'm, yeah, really unsure of what is playing into it. Any thought or questions, or need more information?
Uh, at the beginning, in the check-in, you also mentioned that there's my brain. I think I need water. Yeah, I need water. My brain is shaking.
Yes.
Cool. Hold on. The overlay. Shoo. Cool. Better overlay. Hololo. Uh, yeah, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I wanted to check in first. Well, I don't know if Pam can, or Anne can hear me, but I'm curious if Tom or Anne relate to this.
Yeah, I relate to
How?
this with music or the writing actually, um, where or like I mean this is a new thing, but just the whole theater thing that I got involved in, like I sort of ran into a similar wall where I wanted to do more and then eventually kind of backed out of some things, partly because I was burnt out and exhausted, but also like it was quite scary. like I relate to the self-sabotage where and I see other people who are just going for it and it feels impossible to just dive in.
Okay. Question was, do I relate? I used to. I don't think anymore. Uh, but yeah. Yeah, I think growing up, I was told to, well, I wasn't taught anything, but whenever I would share something I dreamt about doing, other people would shut it down. There's always a tone of like, who do you think you are? Like, there are plenty other people who are better than me, and they're not. Like, if they can't even do that, then, like, who am I? And then I rebelled and I kind of closed all of the usual, like, career doors by dropping out of school to pursue business. Um, and something, I don't know what I thought that if I close all the other doors, I have to get through this one door that I have left, or I would just die. Um, and then I succeeded. So then now it feels like I've done the impossible. So whenever I think of something else that I would like to do, I do have that optimism, regardless of how bad I'm doing.
So, how was that journey for you? Because I can imagine that it's me not daring to take that step.
I think it was among like other, well, so I mentioned that it was like between succeeding and dying. So it was pretty strong motivation. Uh, yeah,
Mm.
like I had already accepted that my parents would disown me just by me like dropping out of school, and my whole community wouldn't side with me. So if anything, I would just have to figure it out. Um, yeah, and it didn't feel like I made. I guess I made that decision, but also at the time, it felt like if I had finished school and worked as a lawyer as I had imagined, I would actually like die in a like emotionally. I would die um, because I had already experienced burnt out, which is like an internship. Um, yeah, so either way, it's just gonna be death. So I really didn't have a choice.
Mm. That makes sense.
What makes it scary for you, Pam?
My immediate thought is fear of failure. Like, yeah, it's scary to, I guess, hmm, it's all the uncertainty, and for me, it's, hmm, like, I guess I'm scared to dig myself into a deep hole I can't get out of. Like, because I have heard so much about the industry being harsh and it's hard to survive in it, and you need a lot of capital to start collections. And if I would need to take loans and work towards it, I'm scared that I will put myself in a financial debt that I can't get out of. Um, and I guess there also is as I don't know what it's called, but I think this first that comes up is like an ego death of like, what if I'm not cut out to do it? What if I fail? Like, is it just a fantasy that's not realistic at all? Um, yeah. And I guess I also have an eternal struggle because I would really like to make something that is sustainable because I know how much the industry impacts the environment. Um, and it's like a double-edged sword because it is a consumer's good, so it will inevitably like be consumption. And in my mind, consumption is not necessarily good. So I can also find myself, or like I did find myself working with fashion at a point, and then when I get low on energy or if I really start doubting myself, I can come to think that what I'm doing is not worthwhile because I am just adding to what I'm trying to combat, which is um, environmental impact. Because it's like it is contributing um, to global warming, but at the same time, you need to work with it to solve it. Um, yeah.
Yeah, you sound really conflicted.
Mm.
Feels like they're like those three you said excuses alone are very logical, I think, or like very valid to worry about.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Hmm. And I think that's part of okay, okay. Hmm. I guess it's because I'm not sure where to go from here because my initial thing to do is to explain myself or like go back with the logic because it makes sense. But I also am conflicted because I think it is an emotional blockage somewhere. Um, yeah. Um, because it is also like again it's a two-edged sword because it makes sense and it's logical. But I can also use that information to persuade myself to not do it.
How do you feel about the logic?
Hmm. It's like two answers. The first one is just it makes sense. Like I don't know what feeling is attached to that. um, um, because yes, it is valid, and there are like facts and arguments that supports the logic. Um, what I'm feeling towards it is, I would say, sadness. Hmm. Regret for not trying to jump into it and try it out. And the more I don't do it, the more I regret not doing it. But at the same time, the fear for failing is so big that I keep postponing it.
Yeah, this sounds like an emotional problem to me. Or not like problem per se, but uh, a part of you really doesn't want to do it. That doesn't really get resolved. It kind of gets, I don't know, distracted, dismissed. I'm not sure what happens there. But that emotion just is pretty much stagnant. And then when you don't do it, you feel like something I wrote down was like you criticize yourself for struggling. It's like you should have just done this, or like there's some type of acknowledgement of it, and then like criticism, and then there's like this other regret factor. So I think, well, regret is an emotion. People criticize based on emotion. Judgment is an emotion. So yeah, I think there's a lot of emotions going on here. Any thoughts on any of that?
It feels nice, like to hear it. For me, guess it sounds like some validation that I have needed and not been able to find or give myself.
Any so let me actually, I think it would be important to explore like any of the points Pam has brought up. Um, so that would be like the like what about this makes her feel fear, like just like what's up with the fear of failure. Um, the second is like what's up with like the self criticism. Third is like what's up with the regret. Uh, mm, oh yeah, the another one is like I'm not cut out for this. Like what's up with that? Like I think there's a lot of meat here. So I'll just like toss it on you guys. Like, where would you like to go from here?
Pam, are you drawn towards any of them?
Did you ask Pam?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you were asking Anne. Um, there's none of them that I am drawn to particular. I think for me, they like take equal space. It's like it's taking up a lot of space, so it's like I can't even measure it. And yeah, so I am open to all of them. So if anything feels like you guys are drawn more to, I'm open to do that because it will add a little more. Like, okay, then it's weighing more than the others. Well, so I will just take the first that popped up. That popped up.
Tom, do you have a preference? Or...
I'm interested in the last one. The like, what if I'm not even cut out for this?
Okay.
Can you help us, Jake, or help me to dig into
Sure.
it?
Definitely. I have a lot of questions. Um, so you originally said you're looking for insight. Is that still the goal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, and do you want to explore the I'm not cut out for this?
I thought it was the same.
That response confused me. What do you mean?
Like, I believe that digging into what if not cut off out for it, will give insights.
Yeah, I was asking consent wise.
Like, I'm not sure, but I think my answer is yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that is like the direction in which you wanted to talk about.
Okay, yes.
Cool. Awesome. So, yeah, tell me about the fear. Like, what if you're not cut out for it? What does that mean? What does it imply? How do you feel about not being cut out for it?
Mm, I fear. Okay, so my immediate thought is that I fear that I would die from failing. Like I would die from not being cut out to handle whatever obstacle that comes. So I guess I'm convinced that if I fail, I'll die.
Die
Um,
like
in like so in this, it would be like I would financially go broke, and then I would not be able to afford anything, and then I would not have people around to help me, so I would just starve to death or anything. Like, um,
that is die.
um,
So,
yeah.
um, yeah, so I'm not cut out for this feels so that the response you gave was just about funding. Like if I don't have enough money, then I'll die eventually because like it will require a lot of money. Does that mean you're not cut out for this because you don't like have enough money?
Mm, no, I think it's more tying to um me not believing that I have the skills to
Hmm.
succeed.
Yeah. Tell us about those skills that you don't think you have.
Okay. I think I am lacking social skills and to be able to create and sustain relationships that could work like business relationships or networking or asking for help. Um, um, I would need to be able to pursue and sell my idea. Um, I would lack confidence and self-reliance. I would not be able to fight through, and I am scared that I would just give up and throw it all on the ground and then never succeed because giving up is definitely not the way. Um, I'm not sure what skill it is, but the fear of people not liking or wanting the product.
People reject your idea.
Yeah, yeah, that could definitely be it. So that brings me to not being able to handle rejection. Um, yeah, I think that was what was on top of my mind. I guess also being able to, I don't know what the words would be, like earn money to fund their business. But that's really broad, so it's a little weird, I think. I would say I'm lacking skills to sew clothing, which comes from like I can work together with people, but if I'm lacking the social skills, I feel like I need to be able to do everything myself from the start, from the bottom up. Um, and I guess that also brings me to that it just becomes a endless big project that I will never be able to finish myself.
Yeah. uh, hmm. Yeah, so it makes sense why you're struggling. Uh, so first, there's like two things happening. The first is there is a separation. Well, skills and like emotional stuff are getting like bundled together. Like I can't network or like I don't have social skills. Like you feel a lot when you try to develop that skill. It isn't just a skill thing. It's like if you try to engage with this thing, it evokes a bunch of stuff. You can't deal with that. Therefore, this skill can never be developed. So
Yeah.
there's like stuff there. There's like more like concrete stuff like funding the business, like sewing. Um, but then with those, you also can't really ask for help, which why I laughed is
Mm.
like that's a very like neglect problem. Like, oh, I have to do everything myself. And there's a lot
Mm.
of like pressure on you to fix everything yourself. So there's like emotion there too. And like handling rejection, like that makes you feel a lot. You can't like just get over it. So that's also difficult, and all of these things make it so you can't engage with it because it's just very overwhelming because there's a lot of like, oh, I want to do this but I can't because of this reason and I can't touch that. Okay, let's back that one off. And then you do that with all of them, which is very valid. Like this is why you can't move forward with it because there's like so much emotion in so many areas.
Mm. Just like it makes sense to me, but I'm still curious. I guess I'm curious to hear what you guys are hearing regarding the emotional blockage, because I know they're there, but I can't really reach it myself. I think it's like I know I'm emotionally blocked, but it's so fuzzy for me.
I'm imagining that every step, like as you're imagining building this business, every step you touch, it requires you to know or do certain things well, which triggers you to feel something that's really hard. But that's like every step. So everything, like you're just thinking about sewing, there's feelings there. Or you're just thinking about where to get money, there's feelings there. Or how to talk to people. Um, so I think it makes sense why it feels like maybe in your words a block, because there are like so many of them just kind of locked in, and you can't like start, like you can't find a thread to start like unraveling. It's just all interconnected.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I also wonder whether it feels like whatever you do, like if you were to start, it has to be good from day one. Like if you were to sew, for example, it has to be good.
I would say that at some point I do end up there, like um, depending on the starting point. I think it's like I can go into it thinking, okay, I should just try it out and do it, and then I start, and then down the road I'm like, no, it has to be perfect, even though my starting point was I just need to do a little bit. So it's definitely in there in the mix.
Yeah, like you even like moving through it, it's like one of the threads needs completely resolved before you do anything else, and it's like this just seems overwhelming. Like you're not allowed to just like start it at your own pace. And if you try to
Yeah.
start at your own pace, there's like so much conflict that happens.
Mm.
Yeah, I wonder why you're avoiding it. Makes sense to me. Like, this is very overwhelming. Like, you don't feel safe and you just have to like throw yourself into the danger. And then the danger overwhelms you and
Yeah.
you back off and then you like criticize yourself for backing off. It's like, man,
This is interesting as I'm thinking. I was writing down like every reason or like every feeling that you were telling, and I could just think of somebody who completely sucks at this, and they still are doing something. And I think that's maybe something that, like, most successful business people are in business because they didn't they didn't have, they're like Delulu, so they didn't like think about the hardships that would like trigger the feeling that would make them feel unsafe and back off. So they just like zombie in, and then it kind of happens. Yeah.
Just remembering the early days of Quest of Life.
Yeah.
How is this conversation for you so far?
I think it's like it might not look like it, but for me it's going well. Um, it's nice to hear perspectives, and I guess having a space to be able to dig into my own fears and worries, which I would not do myself. Um, yeah, and then get the like feedback or hear what other people are hearing, because I guess I tend to not be able to hear myself in these situations. I can tell what's on my mind, but I can't retract or retrace what I'm saying myself necessarily, because emotions are mixed up in it. Um, I am by talking through it, I'm getting aware that like I guess I am experiencing how my emotions impact me. Um, and I am confirmed in what I'm thinking is valid. Um, and there still is this emotional side towards it that I'm unclear about. Um, and I think what I'm trying to say is I am starting to be aware of my. I'm not sure what to call it, but I would say I sense some kind of shame of me just having emotions. Um, and I have absolutely no idea how to deal with that. Like I think that's also like I think that's it's like it's not shocking for me to realize that because I think I know it already, but it still feels really hopeless or like just not knowing what to do. Um,
Are they
and I
specific
think,
sorry.
Mike, please.
Are they specific emotions you're ashamed of?
I think yes, but I'm not sure how or what they are. Um, I just find myself feeling like I am shrinking myself at the moment. Like I'm like, oh, I find myself craving more and more energy to share what I'm sharing. Like, yeah, like I feel like I actively, unconsciously um show less and less emotions. Yeah.
So I have like stuff to do about the previous topic. Did you want to pivot to this and then like I could share those at the end, or did you want to stay on the previous thing of like uh what was it? Like not being cut out for it.
I would like to dig into this, if that's okay with all of you.
Cool. Uh I have questions, but I'm going to give it to you guys first because you guys feel more active than the start of the session. So
I'm
yeah, Pam isn't allowed to
curious.
share emotions. Go for it.
Yeah. I'm curious how you experience shame. Like, what's it like for you?
Um, how am I experiencing? It's a really great question because I can't really answer it. Um, it's like I'm ashamed of the question in itself, so it makes it hard to answer. So my question would be whatever I'm doing right now.
Is it
Like
like
my answer
you
would
feel?
be, yeah, sorry?
Oh, is it like you feel shame because you feel shame?
Yes.
Is it a familiar feeling?
Yeah, I would say so. It is. And it surprises me that it is. But when you asked, I can feel like it is common for me. Please come with it. Nothing particular comes to mind. It's just a feeling of shame. Like I think it ties into me not being able, or not being able to, but not having this space to feel emotions. And as shame is an emotion, it just ties into that. Um, mm. also I think it's like, and it's gonna be a little meta-like because it's like, as I'm feeling shame, it's hard to articulate and express that feeling, for me at least. So I can feel shame and enter an interaction with shame, and then how people respond to me in that emotional state affects my interpretation of how that emotion is responded towards. Um, and I think what comes to mind for me is when I do that, it's like it becomes uncomfortable for other people and they would like it to go away. And I did not experience that in this session or like right now. So that's, I guess, also why I'm able to put it more into words right now.
So that sounds like normally if you're in an interaction with people and you feel ashamed and they can see it, they kind of want it to go away.
Yes. Yes, but I'm also doubting it because, yeah, why? I just have a feel of doubt. Like, I think I'm not sure. I don't know, but yes, my initial thought was yes. Um, and right after that is like, but am I? Yeah, I just become uncertain about it. Mm,
So what's it like when someone
yeah,
doesn't want to see the shame?
it's more shameful. It enforces or like reinforces the feeling of shame. Mm, yeah. I guess I'm curious to hear from you guys how you experience shame, because I am sitting with the emotion, and I do see myself like, yeah, like my response is to shame, which is not helpful. But yeah, um, hmm, I guess I am asking because I would like to have another approach towards it, but I'm not aware of any other ways.
I don't know if I
And
have
it's
another approach because my experience is very similar. Like for me, shame is the scariest emotion. I think. Like when I avoid things, what I'm actually avoiding is like potentially feeling ashamed. That's the scary thing, not the actual consequences, but the shame that might come up.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I think shame does the same thing for me, where like I just want to be smaller and like so small that I'm invisible. Um, yeah, so I noticed that in person. Uh, Recently, I've had a few interactions that remind me how I used to be shamed a lot just for existing. Um, like going to a government office for some paperwork, and the guard said you can't come in with shorts or like skirts. You have to have long pants, and that like instantly made me feel like really small. Um, yeah, and I was also thinking, like online, if I started posting on threads for fun because I knew nobody was there, and then people I know started sharing with me that they saw me posting stuff. and then I just start disappearing. So it's, yeah.
Yeah. That resonates, like describes the experience. I think the thing that I'm like, I wonder a lot about is that I am able to hold space for other people to feel shame, but I'm not able to for myself. And I can't seem to bridge that. Like, well, I would like to think that I am. Um, yeah. And I'm also conflicted because I do find myself at different levels, I guess. Like, I can, I don't know. I guess I'm confused with it. It's just it's an interesting emotion. Yeah.
Shame is like being watched and judged.
True. Can you elaborate more on it? It's like it resonates. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of like where, how that, the common thing that happens whenever I feel shame. So I think I just imagine that people are watching and judging me, and I don't know what the judgment is, but I don't want it.
Mm. I'm just writing it down because it does feels like recognition. Just like mm, it feels validating to hear.
Do you want me to like teach on shame, or do you want
I'm
to?
open to it.
Okay, cool. So this is off the cuff. Just to let you know. Um, there are actually, where do I want to start with this?
I'm gonna turn on
Shame
some
is
light, but I'm still here.
cool. Shame is ultimately a protection against other people. It's like a a way to protect yourself against other people's thoughts, beliefs, isolation, exile, stuff like that. So when you feel shame, one of those things is probably happening, or you're afraid of one of those things happening. I'll say that. Now, in the mental health stuff, uh, shame gets bundled with a lot of emotions, and people just say this is shame. Um, I'll list some of them: worthless, judged, inadequate, ashamed, insecure, exposed, nervous, vulnerable. These are like a lot of things that kind of get bundled into I feeling shame. But it could be a lot of things actually. Criticized is another one that just came to mind. Um, so I think with shame specifically, it's really important to try to be precise about what you are ashamed of, because inadequate, that's about not feeling good enough, but people bundle that with shame. Um, usually the actually What else about shame? Yeah, I think the type or the flavor of shame is really important, and decoupling it from other emotions is also very important.
What do you mean?
What do I mean about which part?
Uh, Different types of shame and decoupling with other emotions. Okay, I guess if you could give an example.
Um, yeah. So I go to a social gathering and I'm feeling really anxious. In actuality, what you're feeling is ashamed. So you're feeling shame with like a top or a cap of anxiety. But like the shame is the reason why you're anxious. So you really have to I've heard one of the coaches I've talked to describe it as primary and secondary emotions. Like what is the primary thing that's going on here? Oh, I'm so anxious because I'm ashamed. I'm so resentful because you made me think I'm inadequate and that ain't okay. Like just what is going on with the emotions and like trying to separate, oh, I'm feeling this. Like this is the reason I'm feeling this one. Like are things compounding um understanding emotions? I think it's really helpful. um what else? There's also like a whole other thing about people giving you shame. So uh the first thing that came to my mind is you're dressing like that. Like I'm trying to make you feel bad and trying to change your behavior or manipulate through that. So shame is often used to change behavior. That's like really the main reason people shame other people because you have one of three ways to change behavior. You can help people understand. That one's really hard. You can do it through fear. That's the simplest, but most people don't want to say, I'll kill you if you don't do the dishes. And then the third one is they try to shame you into it or manipulate. And if you get shamed a lot, you develop a sense of shame, which that's like a whole other thing. Like shame is very complicated, but yeah, that's my thoughts on shame. Um, some of the things as far as working on it are how did you learn to take the people when someone shames you, like like what the hell? Why did you order fries at McDonald's? What's wrong with you? Like that's like a shaming statement. So like how did you learn to take that which they're giving you? Because they're trying to make you change behavior or like feel ashamed. So like why are you taking their shame? Second thing is what thoughts do you think when you are like having a shame spiral, or I've heard it called a shame attack, like, or what beliefs? So this is like, oh, I'm so stupid, or I'll never be enough. Like, I'll never be enough is an inadequate thing. But the beliefs, that's where a lot of the money is. Like, what memories come up when you do think those beliefs? Like, why does this feel so true? Yeah, that's how you work on it. I do think safety is vital for shame. You need some sense of safety to work on it. Thoughts?
Did anything stick out for you, Pam?
Hmm. No, I think I'm processing. I think my experiences align with what was being told. So it's yeah, it just makes sense for me to hear instead of other like yeah. I think for me what stuck the most is um it was how to solve it. or like work with it, and that for me just became overwhelming. So that's where I ended. um, but it definitely made sense, and I think it became overwhelming because I knew, or like I understood how much work it would take. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when I talk about a sense of safety, that is kind of what I'm talking about. Like it overwhelms you, and there has to be some level of like this is too much for me right now, and like that's okay. You don't if you shame yourself for being overwhelmed, uh, that's a whole different problem. Like it makes it so much harder to address it because you're not even allowed for it to overwhelm you, and it gets like really suffocating. So I think like approaching it with like if this overwhelms me, that's like okay. And if you struggle doing that, it would be like why aren't you allowed to be overwhelmed? Like that would be the my first question there. But yeah, it's hard. And it's okay to be overwhelmed by it because it is a very overwhelming thing, especially if it's been given to you a lot in life.
Yeah. What about you guys? Any thoughts?
I realize that I often find it quite difficult to figure out what those underlying beliefs or thoughts are. To me, it just feels like a blur. Like, it's not like I'm actually talking to myself in my mind saying those things. So it's really hard to know what the shame is actually about.
Like it's like coming to a conclusion, but not knowing where the result came from.
Kind of, yeah, like I have this pretty strong sense of like, this is bad, or this isn't safe somehow. But it's not like I'm
Mm.
telling myself I'm stupid or anything like that, at least not in words. Which makes it
But
really
maybe
difficult to
sensations in the
pinpoint it.
body.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, I might feel stupid, but I don't tell myself that.
Yeah. I think that is uh so stupid isn't an emotion. So like how I would interpret that is um I feel inadequate or I feel insecure and I feel ashamed about feeling that. Or I'm not supposed to feel that. Like there's like a rejection of it at some level.
Then I'm curious and have a question for Jake.
Sure.
Um, it's like if I was to express that I am feeling, what would it be? Yeah, if I'm feeling dumb, then as you said, it's not a feeling to feel dumb. There's something underlying it. So the question is, can I draw like a general conclusion that if I wasn't ashamed, I could have expressed the initial feeling?
So you're asking I'm confused actually.
Okay, so my question is, am I, or can I make a generalization that if people say I feel dumb, are they covering their emotion on purpose?
No,
Even
it's
though
not on
it's
purpose.
okay. Well, like
This is
even
a
though it's unconsciously.
yeah, this is a very unconscious thing. Um I and even like digging into it, like it tends to feel much too sharp to dig into it for most people. Like like what I did to Tom, like stupid isn't an emotion. Like most people don't have like rapport enough with another person to strain the relationship like that. So I'd be careful like bringing it up. But um yeah, it isn't intentional. Um if someone says I'm feeling dumb, usually there's like some sense of like shame there. because there is some reason why that's interpreted as a bad thing. Like having low intellect is a bad thing. And usually when someone's like, I'm doing a bad thing, the way they correct that is not through understanding, it's through shame. Stop it. Don't do that.
Yeah, or at least hide it.
Yeah. Which you hide things you want to protect, or you hide things that you're ashamed of. Does that answer a question, or do you feel?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
it's fine.
cool.
There wasn't like, yeah, any particular answer to it.
So that's like shame stuff. And we also got like 20 minutes left. I don't know if y'all want to like try to pivot back, or if you want to like just keep talking about shame stuff, or you want to like move to like the stuff I said as far as like points of addressing the previous topic. Yeah, where would y'all like to go from here?
I think it'd be really.
I
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
please, yeah, yo, no, please, Tom.
Okay. I think it could be really interesting to try to apply some of the theory that you just shared with us, Jake. Like actually explore shame in those ways.
I'm open to it.
Are you still feeling like a pretty sharp shame, Pam?
No, it's there, but it's not that much. But I am sure we can find it if that's needed.
Okay. I wrote down a couple questions. Let me for them. Yeah,
Like, I
what
think,
does the
yeah.
shame tell you?
What the shame tells me. Yeah. Um, I'm trying to find a focus point because I think, like you said, there are different types of shame, so there's a lot of them. Um, so my shame of shame tells me that my emotions are not okay and they are hurting other people.
Excellent. Okay. Let me write that down. Did you say my emotions aren't okay and they're hurting other people, or my shame isn't okay and it's hurting other people?
I said my emotions aren't okay and it's hurting other
Okay.
people. Yeah.
Okay. Is they hurt people the main reason why they're not okay, or are they like fundamentally not okay and hurting people is like one of the many reasons?
The hurting people is not okay.
Okay.
And I can also explain why, because then they will abandon me, because if I hurt people, they don't
Ah.
want to be near me.
So ultimately your emotions aren't okay because they lead to abandonment, and that's intolerable.
Yeah.
Yes. Hmm. What do you think about that?
Me or the group.
Yeah, you.
Mhm. It makes me think and kind of realize that what I'm ashamed of is whatever action that leads to abandonment. And I have learned that my emotions can lead to that.
Yeah. So this can get very deep. What's your relationship with abandonment?
Um, I guess for me, it leads to the death part of not being able to take care of myself. And yeah, It's like I can say that it's a feeling, but I also know it isn't true, but at the same time it also evokes new emotions of me feeling ashamed that I feel that I can't take care of myself.
Yeah, interesting. Like things like spiral really easily. It's like, oh,
Mm,
I feel this. Oh, we're not allowed to feel that because we'll feel abandoned. Well, we're also like not allowed to feel that because it'll have this outcome. So like like it
yeah,
compounds really easily.
yeah,
This is why it's incredibly difficult to work on it. Because like the more you think about it, the worse you feel.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting how well actually let me go back to Tom's thing about like implementing the model I shared. Um so the belief was like my emotions hurt people essentially, and exploring yeah, let me go back to teaching mode for a second. So what to do there is you find a belief, and then like how has this experience or how has this belief formed within this person, like why is this a thing, why do they believe this, um, and it's important to see how emotionally charged it is, because it can just be a fact. And then it could be a fact, and they can feel a lot about this. Like people have abandoned me a lot. That could be a fact. Um, and I feel a lot about that. And then there's also it could be a fact, but I'm like holding my emotions back. So it's like it seems like it's not emotional, but it actually is. So that's like a whole other one. But once you find the emotions, then it's about like, yeah, how does it feel to have been abandoned a lot? And ultimately you're trying to decompress that. And if the shame pops up again, then it's about like, hey, what's going on here? It's pretty much bouncing between like working on the main course, and then like if shame spawns again and like the waiter gives you another side dish of shame, like okay, let's bounce back to that. And then once this is kind of like uh reassured or like a bit like safer or at ease, then you bounce back to the abandonment. But sometimes the shame kind of just like overtakes you, and in that case, like I would just back off a lot and just like, okay, it's okay. And like that's where reassurance, like if you wanted to, you can do breathing exercises there. Um, yeah, if you wanted to, you could. Um, at that point, I would recommend some type of sharing how you. I think validation really helps there. It's like I validated Pam quite a bit around like, yeah, it makes sense why you're doing this. Like, yeah, this is completely valid. That also really helps with this whole thing. Mm, I'm conscious of time, so I'm going to pause. I also feel what is that? I don't know what that is. Very slightly disappointed that we couldn't get deeper, because I was like balancing a couple different things. Ah, I feel sad. Yeah, I feel sad that we weren't able to like get into the deeper abandonment and shame stuff. And I also feel sad that uh, I would have liked to have given Pam more empathy rather than like pure validation. So, yeah, that's that. How you guys feel?
I feel grateful for. the session, like just in general. Yeah, it feels freeing and nice to have a space to discuss the feeling of shame. And yeah, the validation worked well, so I'm grateful for that. Um, that's where I'm at. I am, I guess, feeling like I'm going with the flow, so I have no expectations for like the session here. Like, I feel that sounded wrong, but it's like I have no expectation going forward. I'm just existing and grateful for the session. Anne or Tom?
I think my mind's a bit scattered today, so I'm kind of glad I didn't have to do a huge amount. um, I feel like I learned quite a bit about shame. I also wish we had more time to go into the abandonment stuff and like go deeper. Yeah. Anne?
I feel all of what all of you shared. So also a little bit like disappointed and sad, but like not just like a tiny little bit. That we didn't. Yeah, because I'm comparing to like some other sessions that it felt more resolved versus today. But there's a good reason we don't have time. Also, it's like big. It's a big thing. We're just like kind of just figuring out like what we're working on. Um, yeah, and that. Yeah, but I'm happy that I could just also exist today.
Rad. Well, we got like 7 minutes left for the official end. Y'all have anything you wanted to ask, talk about, do?
I would like to hear more about the disappointment because I am not sure. I like it's funny because I think I might have felt the same if I were in your shoes, but in my place, it's not there. Um,
For me or Anne, or both.
oh, I heard all three of you saying that it felt disappointing. So all of you.
Who wants to go first?
I don't
I
know
can go
if it's
first.
disappointment for me. For me, it's more like it would be nice to have more time, more space, and to go deeper. I don't think I feel like the disappointment underneath. It's more like just wishing for more. Um,
Yeah, kind of like that for me. Where it's from is because I'm comparing to other sessions where it felt a little more resolved or that we had enough time, but we didn't today.
Yeah, I think with the current state I am with coaching, I feel uh, a pressure to resolve things each session with everyone I talk to, and there's like a nervousness underneath that. And when I feel like this can't be completely resolved, I feel like if it's like a little bit because like I know like it isn't reasonable to fully resolve this. Um, yeah, that's the main reason for me.
Thank you, Sharon.
No problem.
There's a question in the chat. It's a big question. I don't know. It's okay. How do shame and fear interact with each other, and how do you decouple them / recognize which is which?
Writing it down so I don't forget. Give me a second.
Okay.
So, how do they interact? Plus, how to decouple? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys just want me to respond to this, or do you want to like think it through for yourselves?
Well, for me,
I would like you to just. Oh yeah.
the immediate
Sorry.
thought that pops up is that I think I'm quite afraid of shame. Like, that's a very strong connection.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I've got.
Pam, you
And
were saying?
I was going to say that for me, Jake is welcome to answer the question because I would like to know the answer as well. And you have?
Same.
Cool. Let me think. How do they interact? I think it depends. Yeah, it really depends on your experience in life and what you have been taught to be afraid of, and what you have taught to be ashamed of. Let me try to think of a precise. Yeah, so fear is a big word. There's a lot of different types of fear. I think there are some that lean closer to shame, and then there are some that don't lean as close. Like terror doesn't really evoke shame, it's more just terror. And panic can evoke shame, but it depends on like how, yeah, it depends on what experiences you've had. So the flavor of fear changes the relationship with shame. Most people are afraid of feeling shame though, because it tends to shame equals some sort of isolation, exile, abandonment, neglect. Like I can't get my needs met from other people. So the relationship is pretty uh, deep between the two. I need to talk to the person to have clarity on how their shame and fear interact. Because some people are like they feel ashamed about feeling anxious. Sometimes you can just feel anxious. So it depends. How to decouple them? First, gaining precision on what exactly you're feeling and why you're feeling it. I really like that those sentences for this. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? How to decouple them? Yeah. For me, how I decoupled it is there was a point where I interacted with someone. It was another coach, and a third coach said to him, "Have you no shame?" And he said, "Yes, actually, that is correct." And then I'm like, "Holy shit! I didn't even realize that." Like, because he was doing something that was like very like socially unacceptable, and I'm like, through that interaction, I realized that I can feel anxious and I can feel ashamed, and actually, a lot of my anxiety is because I'm so ashamed of myself. And I started to like separate my anxieties from my shame, which how to do that is difficult. How I like to do it is just defining words. So like sometimes I'll talk to clients and I'll just not know a word or like an emotion, and then I'll like look at an emotion wheel or I'll Google the word. Like this has happened several times. The first one it happened with was like disrespect. I'm like, oh, that's what that emotion is. And then I decoupled disrespect from anger. And now I have disrespect and anger. And I did that like 15 times. I'm like, oh, so like I have resentment, I have like righteousness. So it requires you to examine your own emotions and why they're happening. That's my answer. Thoughts?
I think it makes sense for me in the scenario where the guard told me I'm supposed to wear long pants. Because I remember so instantly I felt like shame, but then a couple of minutes passed, and I remembered that that was an old feeling I hadn't felt in a long time. So that triggered me to figure out why that used to be true and is not anymore. And then I got out of it. It didn't feel shame anymore because now I understand why he would said that to me.
Yeah. There has to be some point where you are introspective, where you want to figure out what the hell's going on. Like with Anne there, that's like a perfect example of like she felt something, and then she's like, "That's weird. I haven't felt that in a while. What's up with that?" And she like started exploring it. That's how you work on any emotional or mental health stuff. You have to genuinely be curious why it's happening.
Sometimes I feel like shame is the very last thing to go or like get resolved. Because for example, I have a lot of shame around showing emotions to other people, and I've sort of realized that with specific friends, at this point, there's like zero doubt in my mind that actually like they would be okay with me showing emotions. They would actually want me to be able to do it, and they want to be able to like be there for me. So there's actually like literally like zero doubt. I'm not scared that like it would hurt them or bother them in any way. But the shame is still there. And stops me from actually being able to show anything.
Is that shame about bothering them?
It's shame around like I'm too much for people. But with specific people, I feel very confident that like it wouldn't actually be too much for them. They'd be completely fine. They'd probably appreciate like the closeness or connection if I were to show them. But it's a more abstract, generalized like I'm too much. I'm not supposed to. Like at that point, I'm actually just afraid of how ashamed I'm going to feel, even though I know they're going to be completely fine with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that bounces back like I don't know, 20 minutes ago, when we were talking about like Pam feeling abandoned, and then like the shame pops up again, and like it's just like really overwhelming to interact with.
But in
Yeah,
this situation, like I'm not scared of abandonment anymore, or like I'm 100% sure this person isn't going to abandon me.
Mm-hmm.
But the shame is still there.
Yeah, like ultimately you're afraid because of how overwhelming shame is and can be.
Yeah.
And like I'll throw another word in there: mortified, humiliated. These are also like shame adjacent words. Like it does feel deeply overwhelming to be like mortified, or to like start talking, and then like now your shame is slowly rising, and now it's like overtaking you. Like yeah, I think it's okay to like feel that fear. That's a really valid fear too.
It's interesting for me to hear that shame triggers the thought that I'm too much. That sounds like a belief. Like, even though these people will be fine with you being too much, you're still essentially too much.
I don't think so anymore, but that's where it originally came from. But changing that belief doesn't seem to impact the shame.
If it actually doesn't impact it, I'd be curious if there's other beliefs going on. What else? Yeah, I think there's also a point where you would have to. Yeah, so I think like all the theoretical stuff, it's valid to like work on it, and I think there is a point where, for me, it's just I still feel a lot of shame, but I also feel like ready to like be able to like try again.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have enough like HP and mana to like approach it again. And then like if you have a bad outcome, you'll like it's okay to like back off.
Makes sense. Like step 1 is understanding, but step 2 is then actually experimenting with it and like risking the shame coming up.
Yeah, but this might be more like controversial, but I think it's okay to seek readiness and to seek safety before you do that. I don't think you should just like force yourself through that hell.
Mhm.
Like if the shame is overwhelming, yeah, it's overwhelming. Don't do it.
Mhm.
And then like explore like how does it feel to like have this like be overwhelming? Like what's going on here? All that stuff. Cool. Any other thoughts on this topic?
What I'm seeing, like, dancing, looks like she's thinking a lot.
Yes.
Do you want to share?
I think I was just trying to process what Jake said and linking it to my experience to make it make sense or not make sense. But I don't think anything is worth sharing. It's just mumbo jumbo in there.
Cool. Do we have any more questions in chat?
See any? Oh. Nope.
Cool. Rad. What do you want to do from here? Is
Wrap
that
up?
it? Sounds good, playa. Well, that's it and whatnot.
So I guess next week, maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
Who knows? Who knows? I will be unavailable. Yeah.
Cool.
Hope everybody has a good extended period of time.
Okay.
Later, chat.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. Again, if you'd like to join a support group similar to this, you can join us through our website, questoflife.org. And if you'd like to support us with our mission, please consider donating and or volunteering. You can also do that via our website so that we can run more free groups for more people. Thanks.